Good morning. How are we this lovely Monday morning? It's Monday the 13th of December and I am jumping on live just to do your weekly card pull, so let me know how you are. If you're able to jump on, that would be really good to see you. So here we are, almost halfway through December already, and I have decided this week to use Stephen Farmer's Earth Magic cards. These are oracle cards. Very as always with the cards, I pick them every week just with the intention of them resonating with at least one person that watches, and if that's all it does, then that's good enough. Okay, so hope you're keeping well. I am drinking my coffee this morning, so I hope you don't mind me just sipping away at it before it gets cold. We have the first card that has come up this morning, DNA. Also says the word karma on it. If you can see it, it's a bit shiny, these cards. You can see that there are two snakes entwined around. The snakes, very symbolic of shedding skin, also symbolic of our DNA structure, that double helix structure that winds its way through all our cells. We have so much knowledge tapped into those cells. When you think about the fact of how many people, biologically at least, your mum and dad, then your grandparents, then your great grandparents, when you start to go back and you see the number of people, the number of ancestors that created you, and the wisdom that's been passed down through all that DNA, through all that genetic code to yourself, this card reminds you of that DNA. It reminds you of that structure of DNA. This card as well, and it's often misunderstood. People sometimes use it as, oh, you know, karma, you'll get your just desserts, and yes, there's an element of that, but karma's deeper than that. It's more about how you live your life and about being in authenticity with yourself and doing the right things for you and the right things for the people around you so that you live in harmony, and that you then add that karmic balance to your DNA and pass that on. So this card, I think, is telling you just to lean into the wisdom that's within your cellular structure, that's within the ancestral wisdom that you carry, that we all carry. When you think of everything that you're currently going through right now, everything that's going on in your life, that's encoded in your DNA, and that DNA is passed. Every time we breathe out a little bit of our DNA. It's out there, it's mingling with everybody else's. You know, we're all sharing things together, we're all working through life together, we're all trying to find our way. And karma, I think, also reminds us not to be judgy and not to judge other people or yourself harshly, and to really just tune into yourself. There's so much going on around us, there's so much angst and stress and chaos and just nonsense out there that it's very easy to get swept up in it. The snake on this card as well are saying, you know, is it time for you to really shed your skin and to shed off the stuff that no longer serves you, to grow into a new enlightened self, a new, more healed self, a whole self? But how do you do that? Well, you have to maybe find what needs to go. You maybe need to find what parts of the stuff that you're carrying that isn't yours. Okay, so the DNA and karma card is saying to you, remember the wisdom within your cells. Remember the fact you have got the entire universe folded up inside your cells, mirrored in your DNA. The wisdom of all the ancestors who came before you, collectively and biologically. You have got that wisdom that you are passing on. Choices we make now directly affect generations yet to come. In tribal communities, they often wouldn't make any decisions before they thought about how it would affect 7 generations from now. And it's asking us to be very responsible in our choices. So particularly when you think about the climate change question as well, that we have a duty of responsibility and duty of care to future generations to do what we can. So I think if we can work together to see the light in life and to see the light code, envisage something and dream it into being, then it'll happen. It only takes 1% of us to focus on the light and to move forward, to bring that ripple into the rest of the community. Second card that's come up is the music card and the harmony card, and this again speaks about finding harmony and balance. Whenever music unites people, it doesn't matter what language you speak, you hear a beautiful piece of music, it can move you, it can raise emotions within you, it can make you smile, it can make you cry, it can make you think about something, it can invoke a memory. So music's very powerful. And the stars have music, planets have musical tones that come off them. Everything has music. Shamanic cultures would also say listen to the songs of nature, listen to the fact that everything has its own song, everything has its own tone, everything has its own vibration, everything has its own harmony. And when things are in harmony, they feel pleasing to us, they feel pleasing to our ear, they feel pleasing to our emotional body, to our mind, body and spirit. And when they're not in harmony, when things are disharmonious, when things are not maybe feeling right, then it creates a dissonance and it creates a bit of an uncomfortable feeling. But if we can find that harmony within us, there's a lovely thing you can do where as you breathe in and you feel that harmony within, as you start to notice it, if there's any disharmony or chaos around you, breathe in and then intentionally breathe out your harmony and share your harmony with the world, just with your breath. And again, send that ripple out into the world, because the more of us that can find inner harmony and inner peace, then the more that will start to ripple out and create that all around us. Whereas if we only focus on things that are wrong, things we don't like, things that other people are saying, judgments, criticisms, wasting our energy, fighting and scattering our energy and doing stuff that's maybe not important, then that wastes our energy and also creates disharmony. So we want to find a beautiful harmonious vibe, and we find that within ourselves. We find that by leaning into our DNA structures, remembering the wisdom that we got earlier, remember the wisdom that we have from our ancestors, tuning into that within ourselves to create beautiful music within ourselves, creating that lovely, even so much bit of fun. I did that this morning. My sister took my mum out. She's gone down to see my two aunts. So off they went this morning, and I was able to clean the house with nobody in the house. And because I just whacked on my music really loud and just gave a bit of energy around my mum's wee house. And it was so different because she normally sits with her wee TV on. Even just having the music on and blasting it around the house as I was hoovering and cleaning and tidying, and it just raised the energy in the house. And I know she'll feel that when she goes back in later. She'll be like, the house feels nice. And I'll be like, yes, because there was joy and I was smiling and carrying on and dancing around with a hoover as I was working. Because you have to always try and make the best of things and try and find the harmony within, because life's too short to go around miserable, fed up and pissed off all the time, isn't it? There's no need for that anymore. Let's make 2022 a year where we don't do that anymore. Let's just look for the positives and look for the lighter side of life. It's been too heavy for too long. So the last card that's come up here is vulnerability, the meadow card. Some people find it quite difficult to be very open. For some people, being even out in nature, out in an open space like this might cause them a little bit of stress because they're not used to it. But this card asks you to go out, asks you to see the expanse of nature all around you, to realise how big everything is. Look up to the sky, look up to the stars. There's a meteor shower Hopefully tonight, if we get clear skies, you might see the Geminids meteor shower tonight. You know, so it's really, really nice to look up and to see there's so much more out there. We get so focused on just looking down and looking at our own wee bubble, and we can't see anything else. So allow yourself to open up. But part of that opening up process also means opening up to allow yourself potentially to be vulnerable. And that can be difficult, because sometimes we feel that we need to close ourselves off to prevent ourselves from being vulnerable, but that's actually the wrong thing to do. The Heart Math Institute has done a lot of research on this, about how expansive and how powerful our heart energy field is in comparison to our brain. So often we feel we need to close up to protect ourselves, but actually what we need to do is open ourselves. And whilst that might feel as if you're being really vulnerable, it's actually the opposite. You're actually being really strong, because you're shining your big heart light out into the world. And when you do that, it's so much more strong than just staying in your head. So this Meadow card, coupled with the music card and the DNA card here that we have, it's kind of saying to me that it's in our DNA to be harmonious, open, authentic people. It's not in our DNA, and it's not in our nature to hide away behind locked doors, to keep ourselves small and to be fearful. That's not who we are. That's not the power of a human being who is in touch with their inner self, their inner truth and their inner light. So I think what these cards are saying to us is that it's our duty to encode our own DNA with light, with love, with openness. And yes, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to put yourself out there and open up. It's not okay to keep yourself all hidden down in a wee box. So find ways that make you feel safe. So I think the message cards are giving me, and when I first got them, I wasn't overly sure. I was looking at them and sort of thinking, not sure whether I really, should have gone with this deck. But the more I sit with them and the more I look at them, the more I think to myself, do you know what? The cards are always right. They'll always touch somebody. And the more I look at them, the more I think, yeah, this is the message this week. Let's be harmonious with each other. Let's remember our strength and our power, the wisdom of generations before us in our DNA. Think about what we're passing on to future generations. What wisdom, what guidance, what love? Or are you passing on fear, hatred and judgment? So what choices are you making every day? What's going to impact your karma and the karmic burden that generations after us will have to carry? Just as we're carrying karmic burdens from generations before. What harmony can you bring into life? And what vulnerability can you bring in to allow yourself to open up and be expanded into nature? Remember to look up, see the stars, and look for the meteor shower tonight as well. And just tune into your own intuition and see what messages might come for you as the week unfolds. So I hope that helps. I hope that resonates with you. I hope that somebody has taken something from it. Whatever you're up to this week, please have a lovely time. Do whatever you need to do. Don't get caught up in the chaos. Don't get caught up in the judgment and all the crap that's going on out there. Just have a lovely deep breath. Shine your light and breathe your light and your harmony out into the world. And I'll speak to you all again next week.